Books are my friends, my mentor, my guide, my companion, my love affair, other than my wife, of course.
ছোটবেলায় আমার মা দুপুরে খাবার পরে আমাদের দুই বোনকে নিয়ে উনি একটু ঘুমাতেন আর কি, দুপুরে একটু ঘুমাতে ভালোবাসতেন। তো উনি ঘুমিয়ে যাওয়ার আগে আমাদেরকে ওনার নিজের কারণেই বোধহয় দরকার ছিল আমাদেরকে ঘুম পাড়িয়ে দেওয়া, কিন্তু উনি যেটা করতেন উনি বই নিয়ে আমাদের সাথে শুতে যেতেন এবং বই পড়ে শোনাতেন।
I think by the time I was 5 or 6 years old, I knew absolutely that reading was my world, that reading was my life. And reading gave me an escape into my own world, or any world that I wanted to be in at any point of time, which was a sort of a journey that was open to me by the book I was reading at that point of time.
When I was born, I inherited like volumes of them. So the fact that 3-4 বছর থেকে জানতাম যে এই পুরো বুকশেলফটা আমার, that probably, the ownership of it probably gave me that idea of, oh, I must love this because it's something I've inherited.
I had no friends in elementary school. I went to a school where I didn't speak the language, but the library was there and I was learning how to read English, and it was just a natural friendship.
When I started reading Harry Potter and I started exploring the fantasy world of Harry Potter, that's when I realized that maybe these people are fictional, but there are people, there might I'm not alone.
There was a fair in certain months of the year, and I used to travel in the roam around the fair, perched on the shoulder of this man was Habib Bhai, and he introduced me to storytelling, and I listened to the stories he told with rapt attention. And when I started reading Thakur Marjuli, I realized, well, this is a world which needs to be explored.
As a child, I was quite sick for a long time. So whoever would come to me, particularly my elderly relatives, I would say, please tell me a story. So I remember a Nana of mine who just told me all the stories of Bishat Sindhu, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and in my child's mind, they have been etched forever. So I can tell you all about Ramayana, Mahabharata from that memory.
I could be in one world today, and once I finished that book, if I picked up a new book 2 days from now, 2 days later, I'd be in that world. So I'm a traveler of universes, I'm a traveler of worlds.
I begin to believe sincerely that many of the spectacles are really genuine, that many of the impossible things described are genuine, that indeed a frog can speak in a human voice. So what happens was, when I saw a frog, I thought, well, this may be something which is trying to talk to me.
Books as objects of love, you see, began to appeal to me through all the senses. The touch, the feel of a book, the bouquet of books, you see.
আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে আমরা ভাবতে পারি অনেক বেশি, মানে বই আমাদেরকে এত রকম চিন্তার খোরাক দেয়, এবং আমাদের এত ব্যস্ততার মধ্যে ওই মুহূর্তগুলি কিন্তু সবচেয়ে বেশি আমার মনে হয় যে আমাদেরকে একটু অন্তর্দৃষ্টি তৈরি করার জন্য, ইন্ট্রোস্পেক্ট করবার জন্য, যে আমরা কী করছি, কোথায় যাচ্ছি, এটা বোঝার জন্য আমার মনে হয় বই একটা দারুণ বন্ধু।
When I was in class 6 or 7, I started reading, no, 6 or 7 or 8, I started reading the Princess Diaries, and I fell in love with Michael Moscovitz.
I don't think it was because of Valentine's Day, but I did want to gift a girl whom I was quite soft on. I was clearly softer on her than she on me, and I decided to gift her a book without reading it, which was an absolute sin, and it was called Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
I used to blush every time I read about Michael, and I used to hate Princess Mia. I used to think that she's such a boka ekta meye.
And I thought that she would be blown away by this singular gift of affection and love, combined with literary pursuit. I mean, how much more Bengali could romance get? Could my love be? And then she looked at the book and said, I don't like birds.
finally, when things worked out between Princess Mia and Michael Moskowitz, I was happy, but I was also a little sad because now Michael was someone else's.
I mean, I knew that she could say that she didn't like birds, but to reject a book?
But the first book that I remember requesting on my own was Jane Eyre. I had read a small extract somewhere way before I was old enough to read it or appreciate literature.
তো একটু বড় হওয়ার পরের যে প্রিয় বইগুলির মধ্যে একটা হচ্ছে সুনীলের সেই সময়, যেটা আমার মনে হয় যে বারবার পড়া যায়, সুনীল গঙ্গোপাধ্যায়ের সেই সময়। আর আমাদের ছোট গল্পের মধ্যে আমার এখনও প্রিয় লেখক শাহাদুজ্জামান এবং ওনার কয়েকটি বিহবল গল্প, যেটা ওনার প্রথম গল্পগ্রন্থ, এটা আমার সবচেয়ে প্রিয়।
My first love was Ernest Hemingway, you see. So as a teenager, I started reading him, and he was my model of a writer, you see. He seemed to be, the complete man, soldier, hunter, outdoorsman, you see. And I loved his aesthetics also, the idea of clarity, you see. I am fond of plain prose, plain English, which is more difficult to write than, ornate or pseudo-ornate stuff, I think.
What really pains me these days is that birthday gifts are never books. Sometimes I see birthday gifts are toy guns. What kind of society are we building?
I would like to plead with all those who are viewing this to read books. I mean, you cannot imagine the impact it can have on you. One is incidents, the human dimension of stories. The other is beauty of language. I mean, some of these writers tell you how beautiful the language is. I'm say it in English, but I realized by reading books how beautiful Bangla as a language is. The expressions, the descriptions, and really made me feel, wow, language is so beautiful. And you can never get that feeling without reading books.